We're live. Welcome to the channel. What's going on, people? Uncivil Law's in the chat. Uncivil Law. Me and him are going to be in California tomorrow, so we're flying out. I'll see you in 5 hours, brother. You know what? Let me send you a link. I don't know if you want to get inside here. Let me know if you want to get inside. If you want to join me, Uncivil Law, because I am just gonna keep doing you, brother man. Hey, thank you, Jussie Day. Thank you, Jussie Day. All right, let's see if Uncivil Law wants to join. This is a stream that has actually nothing to do with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, which I think is a good thing. We're moving on unless something new happens in that story. But we're covering something I like to call Johnny Depp-like, and this is Jussie Smollett. Now, listen, for those of you who don't know the Jussie Smollett story, the first thing I want to say is welcome back from your coma. We have a lot to talk about. If you don't know what happened with the Jussie Smollett story, let me fix my camera so I feel like it's tilted. There it is. All right, yeah, this is better. So, if you guys don't know what happened, Jussie Smollett is the black actor from You know what? Since we have some time, I'm going to play you guys. Let me play you guys what happened with me when I first heard of the story. So this is me and Nick. We were talking about it. It's a video we did a while ago. And let me play this right here so you guys can see. So this is me and Nick. And I explained to him my view on the Jussie Smollett story. So hopefully you guys will like this.
The weather for 4 hours.
And we can react to it. And then we'll go over his interview because Jussie Smollett did an interview. So we're going to go over his interview because he's now out of prison. Jussie's out of prison. We get to see this. And then we're going to talk about Uvalde tonight, too. So we have a couple of things we're going to talk about. Uvalde. We're going to talk about Jussie Smollett. And we're going to get into it. So I don't see Uncivil. Doesn't seem like he wants to send. So Uncivil, you know to contact me if you want in. So here we go. Let's look at... So first, this is for all the people who don't know anything about Jussie Smollett, right? Which I believe you do. This is just a quick recap of the story. And this is me and Nick talking about it. And I'm describing to Nick the story from my perspective.
The Jussie Smollett case.
Here we go.
Now, yeah. I was told, right, because I was making fun of Kamala Harris and all the lefties after it came out. He was attacked. Oh my God. So now everybody's like, well, Nate, you must have been fooled when it first came out too, because it was a believable story.
I wasn't fooled at all.
I'm going to tell people straight up.
The gay Tupac didn't fool me.
Not anyway about this story. Now, when I first heard it, right? When I first heard it, I'm going to keep it real. I was sitting here with my wife and we was chilling, and we heard the story, and she was like, "It's so horrible. He got beat up by some MAGA people in the middle of Chicago." So I'm like, "When did this happen?" She was like, "At 2 o'clock in the morning." Spider sense start tingling. 2 o'clock in the fucking morning in Chicago? And I'm like, hold on. There's a fucking polar vortex. Yeah, this is a motherfucker. It's like 10 degrees outside. I'm like, at 2 o'clock in the morning? What the fuck is he doing out there at 2 o'clock in the morning? So she's like, okay. So she's like, oh, no. He was going to get a Subway sandwich. So I said, they waiting for him at 2 o'clock in the morning to get a goddamn Subway sandwich? How the fuck did they know he's coming out the apartment? Oh, no. He was coming from the airport, went to his apartment, came out for the Subway sandwich, got the sandwich, and then came back home. And I'm like, yo, somebody was waiting for him all that time in Chicago with MAGA hats? And then we heard the story. They got bleaching ropes. I'm like, hold the fuck on.
Next black guy comes in Subway.
Two motherfucking white guys in the middle of Chicago with MAGA hats got bleach and rope at 2 in the morning waiting for Jussie Smollett coming from Subway? I'm like, what? Is this really the story that he's pushing? I'm like, babe, something doesn't seem wrong with this story. It doesn't just like, doesn't make you think,
Now, I got to ask you people. That didn't make me, like, the story sounded suspect at first. Now, a lot of people bought it. I understand there's a lot of people out there that bought it. But it did sound suspect at first. You got to at least give me that, because I know people go, I believed it. The story sounded very, very suspect at first, people. Right. It did. It just did.
And then, so then I'm even like, all right, maybe the story, maybe they were watching him or looking at social media because they're like, oh, he's telling people on social media. I said, okay. Then I heard the piece of the information where I said, this is obviously made up. The plane was 4 hours late.
Plane was 4 hours late.
Hold on. He was supposed to land at 10 o'clock. His plane was pushed back to 2 o'clock. And these motherfuckers waited outside in sub-freezing temperatures until he got there and didn't get him on the way home. Didn't even get him on the way to fucking Subway. They got him after he got his sandwich. Really.
You know what's I think his wife.
Now, this is the problem. We all know Jussie Smollett lied about this, right? I don't think there's too many people who are going to say that Jussie Smollett was telling the truth. He was convicted in court. He went to court, was convicted, the whole thing, right? It's over, right? It was an obvious lie. So he's essentially the same as Amber Heard, right? Him and Amber Heard are the same thing. They lied. They went to court. Court said they lied, and now they're trying to rehabilitate their career. So Jussie now has come forward. Jussie has now come forward and now is doing a tell-all interview with Sway. Now, for those of you who don't know who Sway was back in the day. Sway was on with MTV, and now he's got like Sirius XM radio. So Jussie now wants to come and let everyone knows what he's been up to. So I've taken clips from the interview, and let's watch it together. So first, Jussie Smollett talks about why people don't believe him. Why people don't believe him. Now, if you know the story, they were in the middle of Chicago. The two people, right? Now, obviously, he paid them with a check. They had the text messages. He set the whole thing up. Like it's obvious, right? He had the fake rope and all that stuff. We know the story. So here we go. Now, Jussie's going to tell us why he believes people don't believe him. But before we go to Jussie, though, let's hear what Amber Heard said on why the jury didn't believe her. Because I think if you listen to what she says and then listen to what he says, it actually is pretty interesting how much there's similarities on not only who's to be blamed, but then it's kind of like what the why they weren't believed. Again, it's not because they're liars. It's always because somebody else. But so first, listen to the Amber Heard tell us why she wasn't believed.
No polite way to say it. The jury looked at the evidence you presented. They listened to your testimony.
Now let's listen to it carefully.
They did not believe you. They thought you were lying.
How could...
Joy thought she was lying.
This way. How could they make a judgment? How could they not come to that conclusion? They had sat in those seats and heard over 3 weeks of nonstop, relentless testimony.
Right.
From paid employees.
Paid employees.
And towards the end of the trial,
Randos,
as I say.
I gotta have a shirt, Rando country.
So you don't blame the jury?
I don't blame them.
Don't blame the jury.
I don't blame them. I actually understand. He's a beloved character.
Don't blame the jury. Don't blame the jury, right? Don't blame the people who know the lies. Don't blame them. Don't blame them. So now, let's hear Jussie. Let's hear how Jussie tells it. So here we go. Come on, Jussie. So now, Sway is going to ask Jussie the same question. Essentially, why don't anybody believe your lies?
I would imagine, as I try to put myself in your shoes, a couple of things. You know, you went through a lot of public ridicule. Yeah, from the same people that loved you and uplifted you are the same folks that did not believe you. You know, there were a lot of folks who just to this day does not believe your story.
Like me.
Rectify that?
Like me. I'm one of those people.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. There's a part of me that, you know, when I strip my ego, when I strip my personal emotions about it, and my personal situation, the way that it was served to everybody, I absolutely understand why people felt betrayed. You know?
See, now I love how they both said the way it was presented to the jury. I understand why they didn't believe you. That wasn't that that was Amber. The way it was given to the jury. Now he's saying the way it was presented to everybody. I know that I would have believed it too. So you see, they don't. Neither one of them deny that the evidence was overwhelming, right? The way it was served up to the jury, I understand why they believed it. The way it was served up to everybody, I understand. You see, it's like they're working from the same playbook, the same PR firm, almost. It's not, I'm innocent. It's the way people were told. That's what they believe. Come on, Jussie. Tell us some more.
And I put that in my song, Thank You, God, where I was just like, I really overstand the reason why y'all felt betrayed. They had my own people, thoughts going off the wall. That's right, from LD to Don, I still got love for y'all. Mm-hmm. Because whatever they thought.
What they think, Jussie?
They thought. And whatever the way that it was served. But that is also, I didn't know what was happening then. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know how bad it was getting.
You didn't know you signed a check, Jussie?
For whatever reason, I genuinely thought that people were going to be like, there's no way that he did some bullshit like that. I'm just like, y'all know me. Like, y'all know that. And I'm thinking, well, people's history should mean something. So and it's very interesting when someone lies on you over and over, and then they pull, and you know what is the lie, but then you're forced to acknowledge the truths around the matter as well. And that's really painful as well, because it's easy to just be like, that's a bullshit lie. I ain't do no fucking hoax. Fuck that.
But now, you know what? One thing I also love about these talking points is that neither one of them will tell you anything about the lie, right? They're not telling you anything about the lie. They're not telling you what, like, hey, this is really what happened. They're not giving you any details. It's all nebulous. It's all, I understand. It's just BS, right? You're going to hear. He's never going to give you any details about, like, he's going to say, well, here, there was this, and this is exactly why it happened. This is why you should believe me, right? There's no details or any evidence he's going to tell us. He's just going to give us very broad generalities. You should just believe me. Why? Because it's me. They should have believed me. And that's exactly what Amber Heard is saying, right? You should believe me. Fuck the evidence, the witnesses, all that stuff is irrelevant. People should have believed me. That's what Jussie's selling. That's what Amber's selling. It's fascinating how they're both selling the same things, just in different ways to different people.
But then at the same time, then they bring out drug stuff. Yeah. And then you're like, ooh, I did do that.
You see? The drugs. Now it's about drugs. So destroying his character.
Like, ooh, I did do that.
And he's appealing too.
It's like,
he's appealing too.
And you're like, but this doesn't have anything to do with what y'all are saying that I did do that I didn't do. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I don't hold anybody. That's not entirely true.
Okay.
I do hold some people accountable for the things that they said, for the things that they did, for the ways that they reacted, because half of those people should have picked up the fucking phone and called me because they had my number.
How do you make that phone call? How the hell do you make that phone call? Yo, Jussie, I just heard the news that you faked a hate crime. Call me back or send that text. Yo, bro, is all this great? What happened? This is gaslighting. I feel like I lost my mind. LOL. Let me just read that. What is he saying? His story is so wild. There is no way what he said happened. What happened actually happened. Of course not. Of course not. But this is the gaslight, right? That's why he's on this show, to try to sell it to us. First time watching, love the content, man. Thank you, cat girl. This is it. Bronx Eats. This is it. This is the scam. He's selling us the story. Let him sell it to us. We'll see. He's selling it to us.
And
it's got to gaslight us.
They didn't. But I also understand that we sometimes operate off of fear, and that when you're kind of, the whole mission is to alienate you so that you are so just like vibrating in the wrong way and like.
Listen to that. Their mission is to alienate you, right? So you're vibrating to destroy your character. What did that sound like? Who just told us that? That was Amber Heard. She said the mission was to vilify her, destroy her credibility. Jussie, the mission was to destroy my credibility, right? It's the same exact. It's like the PR team's just like, yo, you know what, we're going to write this. Or maybe Jussie, we watched the Amber Heard video. He was like, yo, those are all good talking points. Those are all good talking points. Because he's using the same talking points. It's crazy.
All the shit around you is just wrong, that people just have to step back. But I don't mind. I don't hold the people to anything that stepped back.
You see?
I hold the people that went out there and said shit. I hold them to something. And not the people that don't know me. Yeah. But the people that do know me, jury. Fuck out of here. Y'all know better than that. Yeah. And y'all did that. That was some PR bullshit. And you know who you are. And I will not name names, and I love everybody, but I don't like everybody.
Nah, you don't like everybody.
And that's just real.
Jussie Smollett. There was a few entertainers. I know Dave Chappelle with one of his specials.
It's going up to Dave Chappelle.
He saw it was funny to you. You didn't take it personal.
Oh, no! Oh, edit!
Now you got to know one thing, though. That was a quick jump cut. Did you guys see the jump cut? That's a quick jump cut. Check this out. So he asked about the Dave Chappelle thing.
He saw it was funny to you. You didn't take it personal.
You see that jump cut? Here we go. He puts his hand over his face.
He saw it was funny to you. You didn't take it personal.
Something happened. Something happened.
Edit.
Edit.
No, I mean.
They did. We saw the edit.
You know, what's so funny is that my nickname growing up was Juicy. I'm like, nigga, you taking my fucking nickname.
His nickname was Juicy. He called it. Your nickname is Juicy because you're a clown. Because you're a clown, dude. You're a clown.
The fuck? But, you know, that's a special situation. I don't know how much I should say about that. I will say this. I have seen Dave since.
Okay.
I have seen Dave since.
Okay.
And I didn't run up on no stage like that dude at the Hollywood Bowl.
You didn't do that? That wasn't you?
That wasn't Jussie.
I thought that was okay. So that was in the rumor mill. That was Jussie Smollett that did that.
That wasn't no rumor mill. So we see the talking points now. He's getting right into it, right? He's now telling us, he doesn't care about Dave Chappelle. He's friendly. All this is good. He understands why nobody believed him, right? Because of all the lies. But we have no details, right? We don't know anything about what's going on. Great day to be Jussie Smollett. Again, it's the gaslight. He's trying to sell us a story. Let's move forward to this part of the interview. I'm calling, let me see. So this is Jussie Smollett. This is his response. Remember that?
That is taken.
Remember that GMA interview when he went on Good Morning America and lied to Robin Roberts in her face? Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm a victim. Remember that? And, you know, I beat the guys up and, you know, and she was like, well, So we're going to play. He's going to tell us what happened during that. Amber Heard is if Jussie and Jodi Arias had a door. That makes sense. All right, so here we go. Here's Jussie Smollett talking about his Good Morning America interview and what he feels about it.
Aches to how many videos I have in my phone from February of 2019 where I'm just going off and I'm just like, this is bullshit and y'all know what this is. Why are y'all fucking falling for the banana in the tailpipe in this way? I know that it's like, why now? Why is this so easy to believe? But then, of course...
And, you know, this always pisses me off about them always saying he's pretending that he wasn't believed when he first said the story, right? Jussie Smollett and Amber Heard, think about it, people. They were both believed when they first said the story. And now they're pretending like we didn't believe them, right? When Jussie Smollett's story first went out, the world was believing him. Oh, poor Jussie. Remember you had all the people, oh, we're so sorry. Jussie was so, remember that people crying on late night. Let me see. Let me just pull this out. Believers of Jussie Smollett. I know that's got to be here somewhere. Let me see if I can pull those videos up. Because it was like so many people believed him. And he's making it seem like nobody believed him at all. But what changed our mind wasn't the fact that he was just some black gay actor. It was the evidence that was put in front of us, right? Let me get the Jussie, Jussie Smollett, who believed. Let me see. Who believed Jussie Smollett, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to see if there's anybody who believe. I remember, what was her name? Ellen Page, right? Ellen Page, I think. All right. So remember this. Now remember, this is right after it. When she's on the Late Show. Okay, so I'm going to share this one now. So let me show you Ellen Page. When she believed Jussie. She believed Jussie. Just because I love how they always try to make it seem like nobody believed them, right? Oh, I can't believe people just thought I was lying. Ellen Page here. I think she's going to do the crying about Jussie. I'm trying to find out just come on. I gotta find Ellen Page, Jussie Smollett. I should have this clip should be easy. Clip. Let me see. I loved her rant on Jussie Smollett. Okay. Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay. I found it now. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I know this seems I know you have seen me say this before. I could have believed everything he said about people waiting for him. I could have believed he was attacked by someone. However, leaving this noose until the cops showed up. Nope, the story became BS. Yeah, no, it became BS when it was negative 20 degrees Brit. I agree with you. I agree with the whole rope. That was the icing on the cake. But I want to someone said Elliot Page. Well, I'm searching for it because you'll see when you search for it. It's Ellen Page. So that's why you can't, when they search for Elliot Page, you can't find it. But yeah, the person's name is Elliot now. Sorry. But, so I'm not trying to misgender the person because I know. But when you're putting in the search bar, it's called Ellen Page. Yeah, but Brit, yeah. But I thought see, they still have it. Tedious Canadian, Canada, whatever. And even on the Late Show, they still call it Ellen Page. So don't get mad at me. Tell them to change the search parameters on it if people are so upset at it. But it's not me. It's them. I can't have searched Elliot. Couldn't find nothing. But here it is. So here is Jussie Smollett being believed initially. Remember, nobody believed him.
Including Ellen Page, whose emotional interview with Stephen Colbert last night has gone viral.
We have a media that's saying it's a debate whether or not what just happened to Jussie Smollett is a hate crime. It's absurd. This isn't a debate.
Ellen believes the current U.S. government has wiped out years of progress.
So now,
for the LGBTQ community.
I don't know him personally. I send all of my love.
I don't know him personally.
Connect the dots.
This
is what happens.
If you're
in a position of power and you hate people and you want to cause suffering to them.
Not in a debate.
You go through the trouble. You spend your career trying to cause suffering. What do you think is going to happen? Kids are going to be abused and they're going to kill themselves.
So you see, Elliot bought it hook, line, and sinker, right? Elliot bought it hook, line, and sinker. Wake up, people! So this whole fake narrative about no one believed me, this is the same thing. This is Amber Heard, right? He's literally doing an Amber Heard, as just like she did, right? Trump, bad. Amber Heard, Trump, bad. Jussie Smollett, Trump, bad. It's, again, it's almost scary how I think they just assume that we forget that they were believed initially, right? The police believed Jussie and investigated it. The same thing with Amber Heard. And now they're trying to make it seem like nobody believed them and nobody ever believed them. But that just happens not to be true.
Then you send it to your people and they're like, don't put that out. You're too angry, you're too defensive, you're too this. But looking back, there's a part of me that wishes that I had done what I wanted to do of going out there. I didn't want to do an interview. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to get too deep, you know, because
If you don't want to do an interview, why'd you do it? All right? If I don't want to do a show, I don't do it.
I love and respect Robin Roberts. You know what I'm saying? But I did not want to do that interview. That interview wasn't for me. That was for my character.
What?
know?
What do you mean?
Just meaning that, oh God, how deep do I get? If I'm going to get deep, I might as well get deep with my family.
Now, this is because the host of the show, this is obviously a softball interview. Let's not push him too hard. Let's let him speak his truth, and, you know, and try to change the narrative. So that's what he means. We were family. I'm at a softball interview.
Yeah, I have to be very, very honest here in that I found myself, you know, I hadn't watched the interview at all. I hadn't watched the interview at all until we were on trial.
There are two pieces
I had
of
to
pie.
watch it because they were trying to use the interview as evidence
Money
of
for the
lies
randos.
or whatever. So I had to watch it, and I watched it, and I was mortified. I mean, I was mortified.
Oh, what did he say?
So
He said he had to watch it for the lies?
as evidence of lies. or
Yeah,
whatever.
he had to watch it.
So I had to watch it. I watched it. I was mortified.
I like how he said he had to watch his own interview as evidence of lies because he was lying so much. In the interview, the lawyer's like, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch this because you fucking lying. They're gonna hit you with the lies. They're gonna hit you with the lies. Poor Jussie. Just imagine that.
Lies or whatever.
Let me.
I
Go
hadn't
ahead,
watched
here we
the
go.
interview at all until we were on trial, and I had to watch it because they were trying to use the interview as evidence of lies.
It was evidence of lies.
So I had to watch it, and I watched it, and I was mortified. I mean, I was mortified. I mean, I cringed at
Because
just
of all the lies.
Every single word that I said in that interview was the truth. But there was a certain level of performance.
Where have we heard that before? Let's rewind it back. What did he say? Everything in that interview was the truth. Let's hear this again. Let's just hear this one more time.
In that interview was the truth. Cringed at
Here it is.
just
Here it is.
Every single word that I said in that interview was the truth.
That's Amber Heard. That's exactly what Amber Heard said, right? Everything I said on the stand was the truth. Every lie I told was the truth. I'm telling you, people, they got the same PR person. Whoever's writing the PR, they're writing the same PR for them both. He's tripling down on everything I said was the truth, right? Even the obvious lies. Even the obvious lies. Crazy. Crazy. Who do they think they're gonna get to believe this crap? This is the same exact interview. Right? This is the same exact interview. Except we got Jussie Smollett versus instead of Amber Heard. Amber Heard could be up there saying the same shit. Matter of fact, she did say the same shit. What I'm talking about. She said the same shit. Wow. This is crazy. Juicy. There are two peas in the pod. What a world we live in. Poor Elliot. Elliot, good. AH and JS need to just stay quiet and move on. Money for the randos. Thank you, Chi-Town native. When I saw the vid where he was still holding a sandwich after supposedly getting beat up, I laughed so hard. Obvious lies. Yeah. Oh yeah. I know it was a lie as soon as I was like, yeah, this doesn't seem too true. It seems like an obvious lie. When you listen to the legacy media every day about how the people hate you for no reason, and you believe it, this is what happens. People go crazy and plan hate crimes on themselves, and then come and do interviews and say they told the truth. Brett, this is what we got. Man, I love your channel. His ridiculous interview just reminds me of AH, full of himself and can do no wrong. Literally, he's taken her playbook and just said the same shit. Didn't change any of it, right? I told all truth. The interview, which is obviously full of lies, I spoke all truth. Like what? No. When the judge says you committed perjury and you're a liar, you would think, And then the jury and the one with Amber, they didn't believe you. They thought you were lying. But I told the truth. They just were fooled. 40 and Flip. He said he did it for his character. Yes. Translation. I did it for my acting job. Let's listen to let's listen to him try to gaslight us some more. I don't think they really understand what we're talking about here. I think he really thinks he's fooling us.
But there was a certain level of performative nature that came from it. Because I didn't want to be there. And I was so
Emily,
angry
thank
and
you so much.
that I had to go on national television and explain something that happened to me.
Oh, let me pull that up. Oh, thank you. My editor pulled it down. I cannot believe he decided to do an interview. I think he's doing this interview, Emily, because he thinks that the Amber Heard interview was successful. So he's dropping his right behind hers, and again, he's doing the same thing. But thanks, and I'm assuming you're going to be all over this too. I can't wait to see you cover this because it's going to be funny. Thanks, Emily. Thanks for $50. Ah, man, this is gonna be hilarious. Here we go. Juicy.
That I had to go on national television and explain something that happened to me.
This is forever country.
And it was so political, and it was all of those things. And
Hold on.
And I had to go on national television and
What did he say?
Performative
Okay,
nature.
let's go.
Came
Performative
from it
nature.
because I didn't want to be there.
He didn't want to be there.
And I was so angry and so offended that I had to go on national television and explain something that happened to me. And
you went on yourself.
It was so political, and it was all of those things, and I found myself dealing with my own internalized homophobia.
Okay.
As an openly gay black man who leads with his blackness, I found my.
He just threw identity politics all up in this, right? So now we go for the people were fooled. I believe, right? I wasn't believed, right? And now it's because he's black and gay. So he's got the two strikes. Is Jussie, you're not being persecuted because you're black and gay. You're being persecuted or prosecuted because you faked a hate crime and you paid with a check. You had two African dudes walk up to you and scream, "This is MAGA country," and MAGA country. And you said, "I didn't know. They seem to be white guys. Their skin was this dark." And when they're beating you with the MAGA country, we knew as soon as the cops tracked them to the airport and they flew to Nigeria, like, well, these two white racist guys, why the hell are they headed to Nigeria? Who knew when they came back, they were your acquaintances and bodybuilders, right? Really? Come on, Juicy. Come on. I told you guys. So, don't believe him. It's because he's a black and he's gay. And it's internalized. Let's make it sure. Internalized. He's homophobic against himself. You guys think I'm full of shit. No, that's what he's saying here, right? He's homophobic. He's internalized homophobia. A black gay man is homophobic against being black and gay. Listen to it.
I found myself dealing with my own internalized homophobia.
Okay.
See, I know people thought I made that shit up. That's what he's saying. He's dealing with his own internalized homophobia. I'm dealing with my own internalized racism against myself, people. Yeah. We're getting deep into it now.
An openly gay black man who leads with his blackness. I found myself dealing with that, and I'm embarrassed and I'm a little bit ashamed to say that, meaning that I wanted to represent all of us that had been assaulted based on who.
Oh my God. This is worse than Amber Heard. This is really crazy. This guy is fucking sick. Now he's homophobic against themselves, and he's representing every gay person who was ever assaulted because of his goddamn fake hate crime. Really? My God. What the hell is it? Jussie, what are you talking about? Like, how deep are we into this inception here? I'm the jury. What is going on? And I love how the interviewer, he's like, yeah, man, this is making so much sense. You're homophobic against yourself, guy. Yeah, we get it. We understand it. Am I the only one not getting this? Shouldn't he be in jail? Yes! But
We are.
let him finish speaking. I would stop this every 5
But for
seconds.
the people
if I
that
keep
didn't
stopping.
have the platform that I had, I wanted to say all of the things that people should hear from
Okay.
people who have been through this.
You haven't been through
But I
this
also
stuff.
didn't
This
wanna be
wasn't you.
associated with people who had been attacked. I felt like somehow
You know what I like? Now this is what I like to call the, you got people in the background with the like what? What's all these and ums for? Farrell says, ideal for a new reality show. Jussie and Amber team up and tour the country trying to convince people of, well, anything. If they actually succeed in getting anyone over the age of 5 to believe anything, they win a prize. You're being hard on Jussie. I'd be down for that. I'd be down to can you get us to believe you? Oh my God!
like I want to play roles. I want to play boxer.
You did. You played the role of a victim of a hate crime.
I felt like somehow like I want to play roles. I want to play boxer. I want to play superheroes and all that type of shit. And then I felt like I'm genuinely sorry to say this, but this is the way that I felt. I don't feel that way anymore, but I know that that's the way that I felt. I felt like I just became a faggot that got his ass beat. So, or at least I felt like that's what people saw me as.
That's what you pretended to be, right? That's what he pretended to be. And people didn't see him as that. That's what you set up. And now you're trying to play the sympathy card. You see, we're using the slur. We're saying we've got homophobic, right? He's listing out all of the words, every single word, right? Because this is an emotional ploy. And again, this is one thing that I think we all have to understand. We've heard no facts that are changing any of the story, right? No, he's not asking them, hey, can you tell us some details of what we didn't hear, right? He's just giving us pure nonsense, right? Heard of homophobia, every anti-gay thing that he can say, because now he's trying to get us to feel sympathy for his position, right? No facts have been told to us why we should believe him, right? The facts, we know the facts. We have the facts. But he's not bringing any of those facts here. It's just all nebulous.
And so I was trying so hard to like the posturing of he hit me and then I hit his ass back. And I was just like, oh my God, nigga, what are you doing?
You're lying. That's what you're doing, nigga. You're lying. You should have said, well, nigga, what you doing? Why are you lying to the woman on national TV? That's what you should say. It's not a surprise, right? It's just, yeah, I'm fucking was lying. That we know you were lying. This is American country. Yeah, this is American country. I will give JS this, Jussie Smollett. He is a better actor than AH. I believe he could cry on demand. I do. I think if he was on the stand and needed to cry, he would have cried. Jussie lucky that his case wasn't streamed. At least someone on his team was trying to save him from himself. And think about this, though. That'd have been amazing, right? If that trial was streamed, that would have been so amazing. Just imagine that. Because we'd have been able to see the lies. He would have been just as bad as Amber Heard. Because we'd have been able to literally see the lies. Unbelievable.
You look fucking ridiculous. But
Yeah, you did
everything
look
that I
ridiculous.
said was the honest to God truth.
This is Amber Heard again. What's he talking about? Everything I said was the honest truth. Why are you lying using God's name? Come on. Lightning might strike the place. This guy's going crazy.
But it's just
Now listen to the in the background.
the way
too.
that it was. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to my people that I felt that way. But that is
I'm sorry to my people that I felt that way.
is a part of a bigger conversation that
Part
we
of
should
a bigger
probably have at
conversation.
some point.
Yeah.
Now, for this part of a bigger conversation, for Amber Heard, you would just insert Me Too. So Jussie Smollett is turned, LGBT rights, gay, blah 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 blah. Amber Heard, Me Too. So those are the two things that we're talking about. So he's taking, instead of, if you just add Me Too, then this is Amber Heard, right? He's throwing gay and black. So everybody's working to their identity politics piece, right? Amber Heard's I'm a woman, I can't be believed, Me Too. He's working to I'm gay and black, right? That's essentially what we're talking about. Nature laughter is like medicine, thanks. This guy is crazy. This guy is insane, right? And again, remember, everything he's saying is truth. But he signed that check. Yes, I think he forgot. He signed a check. When you pay your attackers with a check and you text them and let them know I'm going to be, like, those things matter. Those are facts that make you say,
About the internalized homophobia that we're kind of conditioned with from the moment that we get on this earth.
So everybody in this chat and everybody on the planet is conditioned with internalized homophobia. Let that sink in, people. Snow Pitch. Tall Tale starring Amber Heard and Jussie Smollett. Oh my God. This is insane. I honestly didn't expect for this to be this insane. But this is really insane. What is he saying? What the hell is this idiot saying? My God. Come on, Jussie. Give me something better than this. He's in other words, he's saying, I did it to myself because I'm homophobic about. That's why you hired the two black guys to pretend they were white guys and beat you up? Really?
Whether you end up being gay or not. And
whether you end up being gay or not.
It's something that I feel like a lot of us fight with and grapple with. And in order to explain certain things and explain certain whys, you kind of have to be fully honest with yourself about all of that. And that's
so we're all homophobic. Even if you so if you're gay, you're homophobic. If you're not gay, you're homophobic. We've all internalized it, and this is why we don't believe him. This is what he's selling to us.
That's just me being honest. So am I ashamed of that I felt that way? Absolutely.
Of course.
Do I feel like I'm better than anyone else that has been assaulted? Abso-fucking-lutely not. But at that time, I was just so embarrassed that it happened. I didn't.
How is this not defamation? Because if he wasn't assaulted, right? If he wasn't assaulted, as the jury found, right? That he made it all up. Now he's assaulted. He's essentially saying the Osundaros assaulted him.
Not want anybody to. That's why when people were just like, oh, he did this so that he could get attention. I'm just like, first of all, I've never been a person that looked for attention. But if I was, like, I'm an actor, a director, a writer, a creator.
He was on Mighty Ducks in '92.
You know what I'm saying? Like, quack, motherfuckers.
So let me just get this straight. We got to stop this right here because we got to understand the logic of both Sway and Jussie. He wasn't looking for attention because he was so famous. He was in Mighty Ducks in 1992. Quack, quack. Did he really just pull out the Mighty Ducks? Shit. We don't give a fuck about no Mighty Ducks. What the hell are you talking about? Ain't nobody that was in the 90s, bro. You're living in the past, Jussie. You're living in the past. Really? Mighty fucking Ducks. Did he just pull up Mighty Ducks? Like, really? Nate, your pictures last cracks me up. Off topic. Can you please have a look at the hilarious Depp Heard animation? Oh, I'm gonna. Yeah. I will. I'll definitely do that one. Yeah, that's hilarious as hell. This is crazy. This guy is insane. Mighty Ducks is the reason why we should believe you? Come on. Does Sway? Yes, Sway. I think Sway believes this. I think Sway is just like, it's gone. Or either he does or does not. With the latter actually hurting real victims. Is Sway woke or just worried about the woke mob. But they're friends. Sway's his friend, and you know, he knows him, and I think he believes his friend. I believe he believes his friend. And hey, and he was in Mighty Ducks. What else? I can't even name two other people. Was it Amelia Estevez was in Mighty Ducks? Who else was in Mighty Ducks? Mighty Ducks in 1992. I was in Mighty Ducks, so I couldn't have been looking for attention. What? Mighty fucking Ducks? Are you Nate, who has worse facts against them? I think well, to be honest with you, JS has some really, really serious. He got some real serious facts. They got to check. They got to check. AH is pretty bad too. I couldn't call it. I think they're pretty bad. Quack, 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 quack. I didn't do it for attention because I was in Mighty Ducks in 1992. Woo! Internalized homophobia. Come on, Jussie. Come on.
If I were to do something,
now this is like, remember Amber Heard? If I was to leak it, I would know how to do it. So let's see if this is Jussie Smollett's moment. Here we go.
it would not be to look like a victim. It would be to look like, if anything, someone strong.
Where have we heard this before, people? Where have we heard the I am not a victim thing before? Who has said that? Who was the last person to say, I am not a victim? When asked, are you a victim? And the person said, I am no victim. Wasn't that Amber Heard? Yes. When Camille said, you wanted to be a victim. I am no victim. Now, Jussie Smollett. Guess what? I am no victim. No victim. I'm telling you, people, they are, if they're not reading from the same playbook, this is eerily similar. This is eerily similar. This is insane.
And I found myself being like, yo, but I'm strong, but I fought back and all of that type of stuff. And it was like, it actually doesn't make you more or less of a human being, regardless of what happened. And so we just didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what was coming. We didn't know who was going to lie. There was just nothing to point us to that until it happened. And we were just dumbfounded. And looking back, there were so many things that we could have done to intercept it, but we just didn't know what was coming. So that's that.
So many people lying.
We're gonna move on, but you said something really interesting because
Everybody's lying.
I used to get on the radio. I had to tell you, I was.
You know what? I want to move to another part of the interview. So Jussie is going to tell us how life was behind bars. Let's move to that part. Let's hear about Jussie's how it was to be locked up in county.
Yeah.
So being behind bars.
Okay.
I fasted for 6.5 days, and there was a part where they told me that I was getting out. Lord knows I wanted to get out. I'm in the fucking psych ward on, and
Did they have you in a jacket?
No.
He was like, I'm in a psych ward. They had you in a jacket. But he was acting kind of. All right, I don't want to say the C word. He was acting not well. Right, he was acting not well. So even Sway broke character right there. He kind of called it that. They had you in a jacket? I've never asked somebody had you in a jacket. He thought they had Jussie all locked up. Like, oh man. He was like, that let you know. Even he thought he was acting crazy. He was like, yo, they had you in a jacket. He's like, no, I wasn't in a jacket. Sway messed up. So I said, I was in a mental institution. Oh, they had you in a jacket. They were like, yo. It was so bad. He thought he was in a jacket. Damn. I ain't say no. I wasn't in a jacket. I wasn't that
I'm in
good.
the fucking psych ward on, and
Did they have you in a jacket?
No, they didn't have me in a jacket, but they had me. I was sleeping on like a restraint bed. I wasn't restrained, and I have to keep it real. Everybody
Keep it real.
Was inside, was very kind, and when I left, I thanked them all. I said, I don't know what y'all think either way, but the fact that you didn't let me know what you think either way, and you just showed me respect, I'm grateful for. You know,
So he was happy the prison staff didn't call him a liar. Well, yeah, you're already serving your time. What are they gonna do? Make it worse for you?
But yeah, I was there in 6.5 days, and there was a part of me when I was coming out, when they told me that I was coming out, I was so grateful and so glad to get out.
I'd have been grateful.
But there was a
too,
part of me that was like, I don't want to lose how I feel right now. Like I don't want to lose
textbook narcissist,
the clarity. I don't want to go back out there and pick up this, you know what I'm saying, and somehow forget how I feel right now.
I don't know.
I want to go back out there and pick
up a phone,
pick up this,
pick up some weed,
pick up this, you know what I'm saying?
All right, what was that other this that you put to your mouth? All right, so I understood the first, you know, it looked like he pulled up a phone. Then he puts that into his mouth. Yeah, like, is he talking about food? I don't know. I don't want to say, right? I'm not making any assumptions here, but he did it twice. I didn't get the second one. Maybe he's talking about food. Drinks. Maybe it's drinks. Alcohol, maybe. Possibly.
And somehow forget how I feel right now. Because right now, I am as grounded in me as possible.
A Subway sandwich. I think you're talking about alcohol, too.
Being in there and having no choice but to surrender. Surrender not to the system.
Don't surrender to the system.
A judge.
Not to the judge.
A bunch of old white men ironically explaining to you about the history of hate crimes and lynching, and you're sitting there and being like, what? Who the fuck are you?
What is he talking about now? The judge? Or maybe the prosecutor. Maybe he's talking about the prosecutors. I don't know.
And
I think he's talking about the judge.
But you're surrendering to yourself, and you're just left there with you, your thoughts, and these walls. I believe that the prison system needs to be dismantled. I believe that there is, as I'm sitting there,
for the judge.
I know that I didn't do this, but
hold on, let me go back, because it sounds like he's talking about the judge.
But you're surrendering to yourself, and you're surrendering.
All right, let me go back.
Not to a judge.
He's not surrendering to the judge.
A bunch of old white men ironically explaining to you about the history of hate crimes.
Which is the judge. That's what the judge did, remember?
You're sitting there and being like, what? Who the fuck are you?
The judge. He's the judge. He's talking about the judge.
But you're surrendering to yourself, and you're just left there with you, your thoughts, and these walls. I believe that the prison system needs to be dismantled.
Oh, now now he's going to get rid of the prison, He spent 6 days there, and he wants to get rid of all prisons.
I believe that there is, as I'm sitting in there, I'm like, I know that I didn't do this, but you have to be a different kind of person to really search and try to find the redemption in this. That place is not meant for redemption. That place is not meant to make you come out better than when you went in. And
those are facts, though. Prison isn't meant to make you. It's punishment for your crimes. So I agree. This is actually a good point he's making.
The prison system needs to be dismantled.
I don't think it's dismantled.
And somehow I feel like maybe that's one of the reasons why. But then I look at it and I'm just like, I'm not one of those dudes that needed something like this to happen to understand the plight of my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the person.
No. Jussie. Yes, Jussie. You did need something like this, right? Because you committed a crime. That's why. And when people commit crimes, we punish them by removing them from society. So I understand maybe reforming the prison system, but people have, we remove people who commit crime. And you, unfortunately, Jussie, committed a crime. Unfortunately, that crime was against yourself. It's a hate crime against yourself. And you tried to convince all of us that this hate crime was committed by 2 white guys in MAGA hats, which obviously is not true. Smollett has always been grounded in himself. Yeah, and if you really listen to what he's saying, it's all about me. It's all about how I feel. It's all about, it's so, I don't want to say narcissistic because I'm no expert in that, but everything he's saying is about him. How I feel, how I'm homophobic. It's all about him, me, and I don't think he's really doing any true reflection on what happened, right? It's again, he's trying to sell a story for some reason, which I don't understand why. I don't understand why he's still trying to sell this story. I believe the prison system needs to be dismantled. Guy convicted of a deplorable crime. Yeah. Well, I think everybody in prison would love prison to be dismantled.
You went in there.
I knew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not some ignorant fool that doesn't understand the history of all of these things that these people somehow tried to flip and act like they needed to explain to me. But what I do know is, for myself, I needed a moment of clarity.
Yeah.
And I have a moment of clarity, and I am holding on to that which I have found.
Jussie Smollett, man, I didn't anticipate talking this much about
I
it.
didn't think so either, but I'm glad we did.
They even have a clap track. They got a clap track. Wow.
Glad we did, though.
So now I ain't got to talk to nobody else. Leave me alone.
Well, there were a few other questions.
You can't shoot, brother, shoot.
Let's see.
You said you understand. You didn't understand then what was happening. Now you have a better understanding of what happened to you. What do you believe it is?
What do you mean?
You said when you couldn't see how big this would become, right? And
well, because I was shut off from. When I say I was shut off from the world, I was shut off from the world. I mean, like, my family. My family took my phone. I did not have my phone. I was not allowed to get on social media.
So you couldn't see the swell that was happening, the scrutiny, the whole.
And they protected me from it.
Okay.
In a really beautiful way, and then probably about a year later, I was somewhere with my family for my older sister Jazz's birthday, and I just, for the first time, decided to Google myself. Worst idea ever.
Yeah. That must have been bad.
And I really saw what it was, and it was so painful because I was like, "Ooh, he said that about me? Oh my God! Oh, she said that? What? You had people, hi baby."
That's really the end of the interesting parts of the interview. So, what have we learned about Jussie Smollett? It seems like he's learned absolutely nothing. He's double, triple, quadruple down on it. He is an innocent man. Went to jail for nothing. Everyone lied on him, right? He's homophobic against himself. And this whole thing, he doesn't blame the people who believe this stuff, right? He blames the people who spun it, the narrative. Now, he's given you no facts to support his claims that any of this stuff is made up, any of this stuff is fake, that any of these charges are, he just says he should have been believed. And the reason why he's not believed is because he's black and gay. And the reason why Amber Heard isn't believed is because she's a woman. How can you not see the similarities between the two? And it's so fascinating how they're leaning on these talking points. One, obviously, the Me Too, one, the LGBTQ plus, but it's just fascinating, and they're hoping that by really steering hard into these movements, that they can get some semblance of emotional support, and people can say, okay, this is true, right? Amber Heard wasn't believed because she was a woman. This is true. Jussie Smollett wasn't believed because he's a black gay man, right? And neither are perfect victims, right? They all have their flaws. But it's sad that he can go through all of this, be convicted of a crime, do time in jail, and come out and still say that all the stuff that we know to be true, right? The facts that we know to be true are lies. So I just don't know. It's this guy is sick. This guy's sick, and this guy should be getting help. He says he's getting therapy now, but the first thing you got to do, Jussie, is just say, "Hey, I lied. I made it up." Maybe it's just hard. Maybe I think he's just so deep, just like Amber Heard. I think they're just so deep into the lie that they just don't. I think it's one of those things where I think they feel so committed to it that they feel like if they just keep saying it, somebody will believe them. But I just don't think they'll It's true. I think they're just so delusional. That's what they believe. If I just keep saying it, people will believe me. People will believe me. Well, that's the Jussie Smollett interview, which is crazy, which is insane. I didn't know. Look, I watched it previously, but I really didn't put together how closely it was to AH's performance. But it seems to be honestly the same exact talking points, the same exact thing. No accountability. It's all about me. Me. And guess what? Everybody else was fooled because people lied about me. And I can't believe people didn't believe me because either I'm a woman or because I'm gay. That's the reason why people didn't believe me. Not because of the lies, not because of the evidence, not because of any of that stuff. It's because of who I am. That's essentially what they're selling. They weren't believed because of who they am, not because of what they did. Nate, you don't understand. In the UK case, he was doing innocent. In the UK case, he was doing innocent. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm not reading it right. Nate, you don't understand. The UK case, he was doing innocent. That one you got me. Now, I do want to move on to a separate topic here. And this is a little more personal. So, there's another YouTuber who I got to give some credit to, right? This guy has helped this channel a lot. For those of you who are here, this guy's helped this channel. This guy's name is Brandon Tatum, the Officer Tatum. He's got like 1.9 million subs. Now, when my channel only had like maybe 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers, the Officer Tatum watched one of my videos. I think it was the one on Breonna Taylor. Because, I was just going through the narrative and it was like, here's what people are missing. And he shared it out. And he loved it so much, and everybody who shared it loved it so much. I went from like 0 to like 4,000 to 40,000 subscribers. So it was a fantastic explosion of growth of the channel, right? So Brandon did, I will always be appreciative to him for that. But I am not one to allow people to deceive people and not go unchallenged, especially when people then come to me and try to challenge me with the fake claims. So, for those of you who don't know, let's talk. This has to do with Uvalde. Brandon Tatum has backed the Uvalde Police Department 100%. Now, for those of you who know what happened in Uvalde, that's the one, the active blank, what happened with the children, right? What happened with the children, and the children had that incident, right? That's what happened in Uvalde. I can't use the words because they're going to... YouTube may not be too happy with me. So now I watched Tatum, and I've been watching this coverage on it, and he's got somebody from the inside, right, giving him information, and he's been telling people this information. But I think is starting to go too far. So at first he was defending the police in Uvalde. Now, obviously, now that we know a lot more of the stuff, he was defending them pretty staunchly too. Let me show you some of the stuff that he was saying, just so you guys understand where I'm coming from. So people were, after people heard the story, people were like, well, hold on, this Uvalde thing is a little crazy, and these officers, there's something going on with these officers. So here is Tatum. I want to show you the name of the video he has here. This is called Uvalde Chief Speaks Out. Some of y'all quiet, right? Because he's making his point. So let's hear what he has to say about the Uvalde incident and the police chief.
Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. Chief
no one is perfect,
Arredondo has spoken. It is the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District chief that everybody decided to throw under the bus. Now, in the comment section, for everybody that said, Brandon, you a liar, Brandon, you wrong on this, they were cowards. I can't believe you still talking about this. I can't believe you defending these cowards. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm unfollowing you. Just go down in the description section and just write that apology. I don't need it. You doing it for yourself. Now, Arredondo spoke out. Could he be lying? Could he be telling the truth? I believe that everybody's acting in good faith.
Everybody acting in good
Unless
faith.
I have evidence to believe that he is explicitly lying and it contradicts actual facts that I know, I think he's telling the truth. This is the longest article I've ever read in my life.
Now, I want you guys to look at the name at the top of this article that he shares. Let me see if I can just go back. All right, so this is waiting for keys, unable to break down doors. Uvalde Police Chief defends delay in confronting gunmen, right? So that's Brandon Tatum, right? Defend the police, right? All the way back to blue, right? He's in it, right? He's defending this police chief, right? Back to blue. Trust them. They're telling us the truth. So I was like, okay, fine. Now we know, right? So what do we know? We know the story now has changed, right? We know the cops waited for an hour, right? So just so everybody understands what happened in Uvalde. The cops, the gunman got in, right? He went into the school. And he was in there for, I think, 2 minutes, but 3 minutes before the cops got there. So the cops got there 3 minutes after he got in. So for those first 2 minutes, he was in there alone with this weapon with the students, and then the police officers came 3 minutes later. So the kids were in there with the cops for about 2 minutes. Now, let me explain to you. Now, Brandon was trying to defend the police, right? And essentially he was making an excuse about, whether it would even mattered whether the police, stormed the room within 2 minutes, when they first got there, 3 minutes, because the person was in there for 2 minutes, or for an hour, right? Like, what that time difference had made a difference. So I'm going to play what he says about that time difference. Now, again, this is from him.
Before the cops ever got there, he made it into the school, into the room, and started shooting and killing kids, unobstructed for 2 minutes straight, according to the police reports. Anybody know anything about ballistics? You're shooting people for 2 minutes straight. I'm sure there would be hardly any survivors before cops ever got there. Then cops get there, and if they did not go,
so that was important to know. He's in there for 2 minutes by himself with them, and he does all this. So for 2 minutes, he's saying probably everybody's in there is gone, right? Now, obviously, because now the cops waited an hour to get inside there, it's kind of leading you to believe, like, if they're in there for, if they didn't get there within the first 2 minutes, really after 3 minutes or an hour, it really doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter, right? Because they're probably already gone. So the 3 minute to an hour thing really doesn't. He's throwing shade at that, trying to essentially say that the officers there, you really can't throw too much blame on them, right? Because of this instance. So let him get his full statement out.
Go in. If they did not pursue the guy, they did not follow instructions of an active shooter. Mm-hmm. If they treated it like a barricaded subject, in hindsight, it was wrong, because you don't know if people are in there bleeding out or whatever the case may be. There's a possibility they could have made mistakes.
Possibility.
I highly doubt it was cowardice. I think inexperience and actually making mistakes with 100 agencies showing up and nobody knowing what's going on. They can't communicate.
Who knows?
Based on my experience, this was probably a cluster, and it was it ended up going bad for everybody. The teaching staff, if you want to say failure of the kids, if you want to say the police failed the kids, the school failed these kids, and the police failed the kids. You cannot blame the police without blaming the school.
Got to blame them both.
You cannot blame the school without having some blame of the police department. Are they malicious? Are they cowardice? That information we do not have for sure. That's something we're going to have to find out. But when you leave the back door open of the school, regardless who fault it is, that's how the man get into school. These doors are designed that they cannot be penetrated unless you have some type of tool or key. And if you didn't lock the door of the classroom, the guy went into the classroom before police ever showed up.
The guy went into the classroom before police ever showed up.
Unfortunately. And if the cops misjudged it, didn't act soon enough, they could have saved some other people. I don't know.
If they misjudged it,
we'll find out soon. I just want to update you guys because this video came out and I said.
So now, mind you, Tatum has been covering the story. So essentially he's saying they were in there for 2 minutes. They were probably all gone, and the cops got there. Could have maybe saved someone. Well, who knows? Who knows, right? Who knows? It could have happened. It could have saved some kids. Now, I want to be very clear. I don't want you to think this was like a week ago he dropped this video, right? And it's before the information came out. He dropped this video yesterday. I think it was yesterday, the day before yesterday. It's like 2 days ago. This is when he dropped this video a couple of days ago. But I want you guys to now know, we do know that it did matter that cops waited an hour. Why? Because all the information, which I'm going to play for you now, listen to how we know that just because the cops got there 3 minutes late, there were kids they could have saved in that room. And because of their ridiculous cowardice, they didn't. So check this out. This is what Brandon Tatum is not telling.
During that 47-minute window of time, authorities say 911 calls from students kept coming in. The kids doing exactly as teachers instructed, going silent, finding places to hide, and then whispered pleas for help to 911 dispatchers.
Now, just so we're clear, Tatum was saying that the cops got there 2 minutes, the guy's in there 2 minutes alone, he's dumped 100 bullets, and the people in there are gone, right? But that's not accurate, right? Because we know there were people still alive, playing dead, hiding, on the phone, calling police, help us, we're in here, come in, right? And we also know a second thing. The door was open. The cops could have walked in and did their thing. Within the first 2 minutes, right, 3 minutes, they could have walked in the door, right? The door wasn't bombarded. Nothing. The cops could have walked in. The door was not secure. It was not locked. And the police chief, the one that Brandon Tatum is calling a hero, right, said he was checking the door and it was locked. But we know that was a lie. Let me play you to show you why that was a lie. So just so we're clear, the police chief told the public that the door to get into the classroom was locked, right? It was barricaded. They couldn't get in, right? And Tatum is saying the hero police chief, we should believe him, right? He believes them. But this is the truth. Why they couldn't get in. Listen to this.
To be rescued.
Chief Arredondo claims he tried dozens of keys.
In rooms. That's how long the children waited and the teachers waited in rooms 111 to be rescued.
Chief Arredondo claims he tried dozens of keys, but they didn't work. Each time I tried a key, I was just praying. But McCraw contradicting that, saying officers never checked the classroom door and it couldn't be locked from the inside.
He waited for a key that was never needed.
All while kids.
He waited for a key that was never needed. And you know why? Because the door wasn't locked. It was open. So just to be clear, cops got there 3 minutes after the gunman went in. Kids are still in there calling on 911. Help us, help us, help us. He says we need a key to get into the room. Nobody checked the door to see if the door was open. Now, why did I even bring this up? Well, because of this. See, Tatum was telling people that, hey, it didn't matter after the 2 minutes. And people started challenging me, right? Hey, Nate, it doesn't matter. Here is, I've removed the person's name and everything. So you guys, not to totally embarrass the person. But this is a comment left on my video. And I got a lot of these, comments in my DMs on Twitter. This is what someone wrote. After the shooter was in the room for a minute, it's fair to assume everyone in the room is dead, right? That's what this person who watches Tatum wrote, right? It's fair to assume everybody's in the room is dead. But why is it not fair to assume everybody's in the room is dead? Because they're calling you saying we need help. For over like half an hour, almost an hour, they're calling, we're inside, we need help. And the only thing that's stopping you from coming in is an open door. Door's not even locked. The door was open. This is what happens when you got influence and you're telling people things like this and you're throwing these things out there and you're making people believe things like this. Then again, this person writes, then again, there could be wounded children in the room, but if the shooter wanted to kill everyone in the room, it wouldn't be hard to do that in 2 minutes. You see how you see what I'm talking about? He's influenced this person to have this person thinking that after the 2 minutes it was all over. And obviously it leads to you so you can believe that the cops are blameless, right? The cops don't have there's nothing wrong with the cops. They didn't do anything wrong. The kids were already gone. So what? They wait 3 minutes, they wait an hour, who cares, right? But you miss one twisted fact. That they were actually calling you, begging you to come in. Come in, help. What did the police chief, the hero police chief, what did he say? He said, I couldn't get into the room. I was trying keys, I couldn't get into the room. Why are you trying any keys? The door was open. You could have just walked in. So, to my friend, well, actually, I'm not friends with the guy. To Brandon. He's probably never going to watch this. He's probably never going to see this. But to him, I would say this. You need to stop this hero worship of these coward cops. Now, I do think this was a cluster. I think, just like you said, and we're saying it's clusterfuck, right? I think I've taken an incident command training. And what happened was nothing more than gross incompetence. But, Brandon, you don't want to back these idiots and lose what credibility you have. You are like with a go-to guy for law enforcement. People love you because of your background, because you're fair. But to pretend that these cops did nothing wrong and are heroes, you're backing the wrong horse. And you're going to get to the point where you are going to be thought of as someone who doesn't care about the facts. You just want to protect the cops no matter what they do. Think about, and I need you to think about this. Think about how insane this is. The cops said they could not go into that room because the door was locked. You said everybody in there was likely dead. Even though they're still calling, dead people are calling on the phone. We're still alive in here. Please send the cops in. Please send the cops in. Door's locked. Door's locked. No one even checked the door. And now we know that the doors were unlocked and open. No key was even needed. So please, get some integrity. Come out and say, I made a mistake. I backed the blue. But in this situation, this one situation, right? One little situation. I hope you choose the kids, the children, and their families over these cops. Over these cops who are afraid to go through an unlocked door to save children. If you don't call these people cowards, then maybe I was wrong about you. And that's real talk. If you like what I do, and you like who I am, don't forget like, share, subscribe. But don't let anybody fool you. Don't let me fool you. Don't let anybody fool you. Because if this guy is hero worshiping cops who are too scared to go on a fucking door that's open to save children, who are calling on the fucking phone and have the nerve to say they were in there for 2 minutes, they probably are dead. They can't be dead because they're calling for help. And all you got to do is fucking open the fucking door. Brandon, wake the fuck up. We understand you are a cop. You love the police. But don't be that stupid. Choose sanity over this love affair with the goddamn police. Please. Because this is starting to get ridiculous. This police chief is a scumbag who waited over an hour. And the only thing that stopped them from going into that room wasn't a fucking key. It was this. It was fucking this. Period. I'm out. Later, people.